Welcome back to the Woman Factor. Joining me now are two ladies from the Haven to discuss holiday stress on domestic violence victims. Joining me now is Kimberly Clement, the program coordinator, and Melissa Williams, training coordinator. Thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight. Welcome to the Woman Factor.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
So happy to be here.
Yes, of course. Glad to have you. Kimberly, kind of talk about what exactly the Haven is.
Okay, so the Haven is a private, nonprofit organization that provides services, family violence and sexual assault services. We have a multitude of actual services that we do. We have intervention services. We have a crisis line that's 24 hours a day. We also have a shelter. It's called Margaret's Home, in which we house women and children who are fleeing from domestic violence so they can have safe refuge. We also provide legal services, medical services. We do a lot of community education, and we also have a prevention program where we go out into the schools and do a multitude of lessons geared towards preventing violence.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of things that y'all offer as well. Yeah, does domestic violence increase during the holiday season?
Well, you know, a lot of the studies right now are showing that actually there's a decrease in hotline calls, and there's no conclusive evidence in the literature that says that domestic violence is correlated with holiday stress. But we do see just on a day-to-day basis just the levels of stress that survivors go through and what it can cause them both emotionally, psychologically, financially, having fled from a domestic violence situation. So, you know, nationally we've seen like a decrease in calls, but, you know, just for survivors who are in our shelters or who are coming through our programs, you know, we do see that there's a great amount of stress for them, and just dealing with the emotional toll of domestic violence is very heavy on them and very great.
Of course. Now, what are some of the common, stressors for families living in the shelter?
Oh, there are many common stressors. As I mentioned before, just the emotional toll of not being with family or not being in familiar surroundings, having to grapple with the loss that is often associated with domestic violence and sexual assault. And having to do that healing process during a time where everyone else is happy. So it makes it very difficult for them to partake in all of the holiday festivities, because they might, especially if they're in shelter, be away from family and friends or not have that close connection because they're just coming out of the domestic violence. So we try to do a lot at the Haven during this time of the year to really help them find ways to connect safely back to families, to also create memories, positive memories, and not memories around violence and sadness and things that they have lost throughout the time that they've been in domestic violence or sexually assaulted.
And so what are some ways, that people can support domestic violence during the holidays?
Well, there are several different ways that people can actually support. I know Kim is going to talk about a couple of different ways that the community as a whole can support domestic violence victims. But one of the things that I can really think of is when someone comes out and says that they've been through domestic violence, is to believe them. Direct them to the Haven, to our crisis line number, so that we can safety plan with them, especially around the holiday season. Helping them to safely leave out of those relationships if they're in that, or to plan for ways that they can escape. But also, just giving people some time, providing them with tools, which is a lot of what we do at the Haven, especially through the counseling services that we provide, giving them ways to manage and deal with any trauma reactions or trauma triggers that may come from the holidays. I remember, sometimes, the holidays for particular individuals is quite stressful, and just, learning how to deal with those particular events. So grounding exercises, breathing exercises, and, you know, finding ways to recreate the holidays or recreate memories, and finding new memories is also very important.
Right.
And giving them the emotional help and support that they need.
Of course. And now, during this time of the year, what are some of the current needs for the Haven?
Currently, we have a program called Give Thanks for Our Safe Home, in which organizations, businesses, individuals, a lot of businesses come out and they have purple boxes. It's like a purple box campaign.
Yes.
And so they place the purple boxes. So if you see purple boxes around town, it's a supply drive for the Haven. And then we have a list of supply items that we're asking to donate, or the businesses sometimes that they choose what they want to donate to the Haven. And so we have that supply drive, and that's happening from November all the way until January. But we have a huge support throughout the year from businesses.
Yeah.
We get a lot of community support throughout the year, and we're very fortunate for that. And especially around Christmas, we have Adopt a Family program.
Oh, wow.
And so right now we have over 55 families that have been adopted. So
Wow,
a lot of
awesome.
businesses, a lot of individuals, a lot of groups get together and have contacted us. And so we make sure that all individuals that we serve are able to have a wonderful Christmas. The children that live in the shelter they have everything that they could possibly think of, that they could ever imagine. Because we just want to make sure that we provide a safe space, a comfortable space, because when you're coming into that environment, not knowing, a lot of mothers are really stressed about having to spend Christmas, and especially leaving a place where they had financial support and then coming into a shelter, stressing and worrying about what they're going to do for their children during the holidays. So we just make sure we put them at ease and we provide all of their needs during the holiday.
Wow. And I know you mentioned the purple boxes and the
Yes.
supply list. That's also on Facebook. I saw that as well. I want
Yes,
to make sure
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
You can find out any information about the Give Thanks for Your Safe Home project on Facebook. And you can contact us at the Haven, and we would, if you're interested in donating or having a purple box at your business or school, at your home, or doing any type of supply drive, you can contact us, and we will be more than happy to work with you on that.
Great. Good to hear. Now, how can somebody, help if they are a victim of domestic violence or sexual assault?
Well, there's several ways that individuals who are experiencing that level of violence that they can get help. One is to contact us directly. 1-800-915-0045 is our crisis line number. And anyone can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and receive the help that they need. Because we really like to work with people on an individual basis, sit down, talk with you about your situation, figure out how to help you navigate those situations, and also to help you safety plan, especially around domestic violence, and figuring out what are your options in those particular situations. So this is not a blanket, you call and we just give you a list of numbers, but we really want to develop a relationship with survivors so that they can understand that they have support. And I really feel like that is extremely important for someone who is going through an emotional, distressing time, and to know that there are resources and community resources available to them. We also have our medical advocacy program where we can go to the hospital if someone reports there and say that they've been sexually assaulted. We can be there with you. You don't have to be alone in those particular situations, because that can be very scary. And so we are available to be there with you to help you talk through different situations, and that is always available to a victim of sexual violence. And one of the major ways, as I said, is to call us, is to get in touch with us so that we can see what you need and try to help you figure out ways to get those needs met.
And we're very responsive to our Facebook as well. So if you're not able to call, you can also message us, and then we will make sure that we can get back to you. So we're very responsive to that as well.
Right. Well, good. Lots of good things to hear, especially everything that y'all offer.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back and talk more about the Haven. So
Okay.
And thank you to our viewers for watching. Again, stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more on the Haven. Don't go away.